It was a 1-0 victory for Manchester United against Real Sociedad, but not enough as Real Sociedad stay top of that group, of course, and that's vital heading into the knockout stages. And now it's a playoff situation for United and Erik, Ten Hag, Luis Miguel Echegaray. Let me hear Janusz Michallik. Janusz, they won, but still, I feel that you got a lot to say about this one.
Well, I mean, I thought it was going to be pretty simple. We all talk about a simple game, right? We all knew the implication of that game where United needed to win, 2-0 to avoid the playoffs against the Champions League teams that dropped off, right? So, I mean, it started great. 18-year-old Alejandro Garnacho scores a wonderful goal. It's a great setup. Bruno Fernandes wins a big header in there to find Ronaldo. Ronaldo then finds Garnacho, and what a nice finish! It's his first goal for Manchester United. We knew about his talent, and we've seen him in glimpses in this competition, and obviously future is bright for him. And look, I mean, I don't know if they were ever going to find a second goal, but I mean, if you look at Erik Ten Hag, I thought he's done a tremendous job so far in terms of turning Manchester United around. I think he's found some momentum. I think he's made his players believe that they were on the way up, and that was going to be basically my praise for Manchester United, Ten Hag. But then Ten Hag in the second half started making changes. And I'll tell you what, I'm convinced he had no idea what he was doing. He really, I mean, he confused not only us. That's one thing, right? We can think of changes and formation changes one way or the other. But I'm 100% convinced that his players had zero idea what they were supposed to do. He took off Lindelof. Okay, if I'm going to put it down to the fact that maybe he needs him against your team, Aston Villa, because Varane's out, obviously he doesn't trust Harry Maguire, who did fine against West Ham over the weekend, and then he puts him at a center forward in the end. But that's neither here or there. Let's talk about Lindelof. Was perfect, absolutely perfect. I think he 100% deliveries on his passes. He won every duel in the air and on the ground. Didn't concede the ball once, right? I guess I can look at that and say, well, he needs him. But I mean, he hasn't been injured. He was ill last time. So, okay, I mean, I can even get past that. But then the introduction of Rashford, who played kind of in the midfield behind Ronaldo, and he's been absolutely tremendous, either on the wing or as a center forward. He's been scoring. He's been reborn. With all of this, while Bruno Fernandes continued to play on the right side as a right winger / attacker, it absolutely made zero sense. I mean, listen, with Dutch coaches, I get the total football, but I'm telling you, that may be good in Eredivisie, but this was just, I don't know how to explain that. I'll get past it, and at the end of the day, I still think that United are on the way up, and I respect Ten Hag, but there, temporary loss of reason. I really could not explain that formation. I had zero idea what the formation was, who was playing where, and I'm sure in the dressing room, players are quietly going, "Hey, what was that? Hey, Marcus, where'd you think you were playing?" McTominay sort of.
I really hope that happens. I really hope we get a
look,
and everybody's just like, what just happened?
And it happens sometimes. Players will go that, like, did you know where you were going to play?
Yeah.
Erik had a poor game. Finally, Fred came in, kind of play. Oh, yeah, I don't even know. Alanga should have come in earlier. It was that confusing, and there is zero chance that anybody on here, if you choose to comment on this or not, is going to explain to me what that all meant, and for sure it didn't make any sense. The positioning of Bruno, I mean, initially, okay, starting lineup, all right. I kind of question that a little bit because he's so influential. If you're looking for a second ball and your other playmaker, Eriksen, is having an off night, well, bring him central, right? That didn't happen as well. And he played there almost until the end. And then Ronaldo and Rashford were getting in each other's way, saying, hey, move, go someplace. I need this space. So it was just one of those games. Doesn't change anything that I think about Ten Hag in general and Manchester United. But I did not think I was going to be talking about this at the end of this game. It just never occurred to me. Keep it simple, and it's a simple game.
Kiss, baby, kiss. Absolutely. If simplicity is the ultimate sophistication, this felt like a vagabond crashing into a bunch of glass. But Janusz, you raised a very good point specifically at the beginning as well. Now they might have to face, or they will have to face, obviously, a stronger team, a Champions League team that drops down. Are your hopes for United and the Europa League, their chances of returning to a final, have they died down a little bit just because they might face stronger competition in the next round?
Well, I mean, it's something that you wanted to avoid, right? I mean, it's an extra game now. I mean, the schedule is already tight as it is. And, if they did find a way, which, by the way, even in a perfect formation with the perfect substitutions, there was no guarantee. Real Sociedad are a good team. They've had issues and injuries of their own. David Silva wasn't available. A number of players, Oyarzabal, but, list goes on and on and on. They had some issues, just as Manchester United did, in particular, Anthony wasn't there. Jadon Sancho wasn't available. I think he was ill. I'm not sure exactly. But so both teams had issues. But I think had they scored that second goal, which they had chances even until the very end, I think they would have had, a day off and obviously, a bye, if you will, because the competition in Europa League has changed this time, right? You have this mini playoff if you finish second. So now we'll see who they're going to play against. It could be a big team in the Champions League, and ultimately it could cost them. But I think the fixtures, you just don't need another game if you can help it.
Absolutely. A very packed schedule, something that you probably don't need. And Erik Ten Hag was probably thinking too much about the weekend instead of what was happening in front of him. Regardless, Real Sociedad top group, Manchester United will have to find out if indeed they can keep going.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.